The making of this Toto album has been pretty textbook as far as Toto goes, and everybody contributes. Simon's very good at being at the helm. It's almost like the Enterprise, and Luke is pretty good at the helm, and I've taken the choices in the early days. I was pretty much in charge of a lot of the production, but it's a co-produced album. Everybody chips in here. You know, but we know how to support and augment each other. It's not like 6 chefs doing this album here, you know. And it's been fairly classic Toto album, especially because it's a band-written album, which means everybody has input into all the material. It's not just where myself or Steve Lukather there are writing all the songs. The band's they're acting as our backup band, as some albums in the past are interim, maybe the 2 or 3 albums in the past. This album is very collaborative, from the lyrics down to the tracking, down to the supervision of the overdubs. It's been mostly everybody's been there and had some performance, but every member is participating very equally on this to help add the embroidery to the basic foundation, you know. And I think it's a great Toto album. I think it's the possibly a sister or brother album to the Toto 4 album that was everybody knows from 1983, and this has that has the fury and power of that album from a rock and roll standpoint, and yet it has the passion and the world music quality, if I can coin that phrase, that album had. I think we've matured a lot in the subject matter that we're writing. I'm really starting to find myself lyrically. I moved over to and jumped into a lot of the lyrics. Bobby Kimball's done a lot of the substantial lyrics on there too. So it's really a challenge and a very fulfilling endeavor to go and try and get good lyrics or meaningful lyrics on a Toto album here. I think that's been one of the things that we've been missing in the United States, is to communicate on a simple level to English-speaking people when it comes to our lyrics. So I think it's going to end up being a well-produced album, and yet not overproduced.
Joseph, I mean, he went through some tough times, man, you know, I mean, not to say it, listen, we were all crazy back then, but, you know, he was the lead singer of the band, and he lost his voice for a whole tour on it. The first tour of Fahrenheit was pristine. It was absolutely fantastic. A great songwriter, one of the funniest human beings on the planet. And I love him dearly. When we were, you know, and then we did this great record, The Seventh One, we sold millions of copies. We got a couple of hits off of it. You know, the songwriter's great. We went out to do that tour, and he started to lose his voice, and it never really returned. And, you know, there were some issues, you know. We were all partying like everybody believed we were. And, you know, I ran into him. We went out and had lunch, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I said, man, it's just kind of great to see you. We laughed, and he said, what, you know, when we do another record, you got to come in and sit in. And he goes, man, I'd love to do that. So here we are doing this brand new, and a lot of the fans miss him, and so we thought it'd be really fun to bring it back together and show that, you know, that we're all really good friends again, and all the bad shit's behind us. You know, most of it should be anyway. I mean, come on, you know. We wrote a song, and we thought, man, this would be great to have Joe. It's got him written all over. You know, it's weird, different. It's called Bottom of Your Soul, and he came in and just killed it, man.
Oh,
Shekhar is a very kindred soul. He's from India. He plays electric violin and he also sings.
From the faces never seen.
I asked him. I said, you know, we really need to have your presence known on this particular song to make it real in people's minds. And he's always there.
I'm falling between.
And it was great to hear because he just went in the studio and did like 12 vocals of these octave vocals that are haunting. He gave it all, just like he does on his own music. And I saw some lyrics of his line in my studio, and I started writing a piece which ended up being the intro to Falling in Between, which is the title cut. And it's just in the intro and ending sections, but you actually take he puts you on a carpet ride here, and it's just like I said, just magical and mournful and tragic at the same time. It is very spiritual also at the same time.
Fucking double it,
Nice
man.
linear line there.
Very fresh ideas there, Johnny.
So, but I had met Joe. We did a tour together. We did a short tour back in '97. That's when we actually got Joseph and Bobby kind of back in the band for that short trip. We also had Steve Porcaro too. So that's the first time I'd met and actually worked with Joe. I had not worked with him in the studio, so this again was my first time to record him. Again, I mean, I was totally knocked out because I really didn't know what kind of singer he would be like to work with in the studio. But he was, again, the consummate professional. And yeah, it was very easy, very quick. It came up with beautiful parts. He really added something to that song, Bottom of Your Soul. He really added something to that and made the choruses sound beautiful. And he's got a great vocal sound too. So again, an engineer's dream.
Why is it always the ones that we love are the ones that will never come home?
Nice. So juicy.
The great thing about Lenny is, as with any player, it's the groove. It's all about the groove, and especially with percussion. And in LA, a lot of percussionists are primarily Latin percussionists. So, therefore, there's a feel, there's a Latin feel and lilt, which is beautiful, but when you're playing rock and roll, it doesn't always fit. And with these, those percussionists, it's very important to know kind of what fits to a rock and roll scenario as opposed to just kind of playing a Latin groove over a rock and roll thing. And I think Lenny really understands that. If we say, you know, it really needs to be kind of straight ahead, it's rock, it's not a Latin track, he gets it totally, yet his groove is still really deep, which is really nice. So I think really Lenny is absolutely the best guy for us when it comes to percussion. Again, he's a true professional. So again, he's easy to record, and I love it actually. It's fun.
I've been a photographer for years and years now, and I got a call about a week ago from Anita, who said that they were looking for some new pictures and would I be interested, and I said, boy, I'd love to. And so we set up the shoot, and I never thought they'd be so much fun, and it's been a great day. I had such a great time. They were so great to work with, and they were so fun and so professional and so terrific in front of the camera. I can't say enough good things. It's a pleasure for a photographer to have a group like this to work with. So I'm really happy. I think we had a great day, and they're a great bunch of guys.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. People do the thing.
That was great!
The talent thing, people.
So the microphones, yeah. So the brass players, I used an R121 ribbon on the trombone and the trumpet, and I used another Rode mic. It's a tube mic. It's called a K2 on the tenor. And again, I kind of just thought about it, and it was kind of all in my head. It's kind of how I envisaged the sound, and what I think what mics would work. Put them up, position them, and that's the sound we got. And they seemed very happy with it. I thought it was sounding fine. Again, I think I ran them all through the Grace. No EQ, no compression even. Nothing, just dead flat. And they make the noise they make, and I record it. And that was actually a lot of fun. I think once we kind of got into it and they got used to the sound and used to the sound of the studio, it went down great. It's fantastic.
Okay. There it is. That's the shit.
Lenny Castro, man, we go back. I met Lenny Castro on the Boz Skaggs tour of 1977. We were both 19 years old. We were both the oddball. He was from New York, I was a young kid, and everybody else was like, you know, famous musicians. And my boss, and this was one of his biggest tours, the 7 Degrees album. And it was a great honor. That was the tour to be on. And I was so excited to have the gig. And Lenny and I just bonded. The first day, I gave him a ride home in my beat-up old blue VW, you know, and we've been, you know, really close friends ever since. And he's my favorite percussionist in the world. He's played with everybody, the Stones, all the way through. Just name anybody, and he's played with them. And he was on the tour with us many, many times. But we just can't afford him. But he played on the whole record. You know, when it comes to percussion, he's the first call guy for us. I mean, he's really been a major part of the Toto sound. I mean, he was there for Africa. He was there during the first album. You know, he's all of our hits. He's played on all of our hits. He's done a million sessions for other people as well. So, you know, he's part of the team, and he's very close soul, but I love him dearly.
The alien.
Oh, jeez.
These are really the inside photos, man. You know what I mean? People love this shit.
Yes, that's $1,000 to get these photos.
Here's a good one for you, man. Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett. Oh, yeah,
Cavett on the bullet train, man. Remember that?
Yeah,
Remember
that's
he was on
right,
the
I
bullet
remember
train?
that.
Oh my God! Look at that cruise shot, man. Buck Taylor, fella.
Brucey.
Oh,
Who is that guy? The young
it's the more sensitive side.
David Page. This is me after I lost my leg. Exactly.
You did a pretty good job of growing it
a
back.
MASH photo. Replace Luke's leg with a huge. It's gnarly. Send it back. That was up at
That's
Griffith Park.
Observatory, man. Getting Armando Gallo shots.
Hit the killer fog.
That's the latest stuff. Last stuff we really took were those shots right there. Man.
Stabbing. God, look how young he looks right there. That was like first or second tour, man.
Yeah.
That was later on down the line.
Was it like to see all those photos? Something you hadn't seen in years.
It's like teleporting. It's like time traveling. And the time machine puts you back right there, you know. And it's really funny because you look at it and you go, oh yeah, that's us like a couple years ago. You know, it doesn't seem like 20 years ago. It's really weird. It's really interesting. It's good. Photographs are definitely a great way to time stamp history. You know, when you go back and look at the stuff. You know. Could be about anger. Someone stepped on your pride. Your heart's been bruised. Someone's.
Yeah, but here's the tie-up line right here.
With all-
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you have to relate something to
It's
that.
like you're describing
That's the
my
payoff.
life.
Well, there, you know what I'm saying? It's like the purpose we all fucked up, but like, you know, you gotta let it go because
Yep.
you just have to. Otherwise it'll kill you. You're gonna die anyway. Dying in peace, I think is more like.
Yes.
And you know, missing the people who've gone before us who are gonna be there when we eventually see them. Assuming I go to that place.
Well,
So Bobby, did you guys get?
here I am alone again.
I know, and in your
Naturally.
room, they keep leaving you alone in here.
It's okay. You know, it doesn't happen enough. Therefore, we're still writing lyrics, you know.
So,
But I love for him to.
What do you got?
I love him to come in and give suggestions because then, you know, the feedback is really, really necessary to make it everybody's opinion. You know, because I can bring in like a week's worth of work, and these guys can narrow it down in 20 minutes. You know, I like this, I don't like this. You know, and we can mix and match and take verses and scatter them around, jumble them up, and throw them back on the page and. It comes out making sense, you know, because a lot of times you get so close to something that you get away from the initial idea, and it's like not being able to see the forest for the trees. You know, you get so jammed into it that you can't really discern what's going on. But you get some good opinions around you, and these are guys that know good lyrics. You know, they know they've been around all of the great music, you know. So, you know, I just bring a lot of stuff in. I work really hard on it, and then everybody gives their opinion, and we kind of sort it all out. And everyone does this. Greg, Mike, Simon, Luke, Dave, everybody throws something in on this, you know. And we end up coming out with the right thing in the end, which is a wonderful thing. Here are some lyrics that a couple of different first verse things that we're throwing away. Huh. Yeah, we're not going to use these because Dave and Steve didn't like them. Yeah, but that's the title. We got a title.
the Porcaro boys, the Porcaro brothers grew up, initially we were all drummers. My earliest memories, first of all, are of Jeff and I sleeping in front of the washing machine because that was the only way we could fall asleep for our naps. We would grab our blankies and lay down in front of the washing machine, and in the 50s it was like I mean, they were soulful, man, the way machines would function. And that would soothe us, and we would like fall asleep, you know. It's kind of like that drone of rhythm, you know. So we all initially were playing drums, and all initially took drum lessons. And I like to say that we got tired of fighting over the drum set at the house, and that's why one brother went one way and one brother went the other way. Surprisingly, well, not surprisingly enough, but Steve right away. Steve was studying piano from the time he was 5 years old, so I think he was pretty much set with piano by the time he got into adolescence. But that's when I switched over to bass, and been playing bass ever since, man. That's the way it's been. Everybody has a Jeff story, and everybody always wants to hear about Jeff. I've spoken to my brother many times, man. What a wonderful guy he was. Jeff was a human being like us all. But he was such an enthusiastic guy, such an artist. He really had the heart of an artist and the mind of an artist. And to know Jeff was to love him. Most of his friends who knew him, still miss him very much, and always will. It's a great, it's a sphere of influence that I miss a lot, even in the band. It's not there anymore. Hey, this band, Toto, was Jeff Porcaro and David Page's band. And the rest of us were asked in, and so I mean, it's a blow for Toto, him not being around. We've got such a wonderful drummer in Simon Phillips, but we all miss Jeff a lot, and it's a shame. Life's a shame sometimes, but it's the way it is. Stage fright. Every musician, every performer, I think, has a little bit of anxiety, varying degrees depending on the person. I mean, there's some of the greatest singers and musicians in the world are scared to death when they're on stage, and some of them, it keeps them from performing and touring. Everybody deals with it. To me, it's just experience over the years, and especially once you got that show under your belt, and then you start to relax. But it's always the first tune, jitters. Is the audience there? What kind of audience do we have? Are we catching them? Are they alive? Are they energized? You kick off that first number, and you want to play so good, and you want it just to be, the best, and get people, get them in your grasp right away. And so there's certain certain gigs are bigger than other gigs. We play our best every gig, but certain gigs are more important. There's people out there in the audience, record company, whoever, important things going on behind the scenes, and you want to really impress. So yeah, you'll have a little anxiety. It's a good thing. It says I'm awake. It says I want to do my best. It says I'm really concerned about how I'm coming across. It's hard to get too nervous, unless it's a really big gig or important gig, but that's good. I mean, it's a good, there's always anxiety, first tune, but it's good. For me, it's not fright. I'm not up there afraid. I'm just up there like wanting the band to kick butt and get into lock it in right from the get-go, and to have people going, wow, within 8 measures, you know. And that kind of anxiety, that's good anxiety.